Hello, this is Jay Lee. Hi, I just wanted to go over a couple of things that we ended up capturing on Sunday, November 29th, 2015. Before I begin, though, I just wanted to invite everybody to our event. If you guys can go over to LA UFO channel on meetup.com, we'll give you the latest updates on when we're going to hold our next event. So we always have a great time. We've never been skunked. The UFO communicators, such as Faso Perez and Yasmin Joyner are there. They do a fantastic job. We always have a lot of fun. So anyway, want to go over a couple of things that we captured this last event. Let's see. The first one actually was captured at about 11 o'clock in the morning or 11:10. A little bit too early for a wedding. And, I think around 11:10 is a lot of times when a marathon, they'll start these things early, or, a half marathon, they'll start these things early, and they'll have like a finish line balloon arc. And so I'm thinking maybe this one escaped. But it turns out that the only marathons that were happening on this particular day, because I looked it up. One was over in Van Nuys, probably about 30 miles away, and the other one was over in Santa Barbara. So this one was highly unusual. Also, it kind of breaks the rules when it comes to, usually there's some sort of a pattern when it comes to balloon arcs. Please look it up. Don't take my word for it. They usually don't, have just a hodgepodge of balloons kind of strung together and stuff. People pay too much money for something like that. So anyway, I found this one a little bit on the strange. Broke a few rules, I would think. There's also some bigger balloons and some smaller balloons within the strand. So I thought it was very strange. This next one was a little bit on the strange. It was coming from the north and heading south, and it was on a pretty horizontal flight path, and I thought we were going to lose it into the trees. It was just kind of definitely drifting away until we all kind of, everybody saw it, and it just seemed like it stopped, and I actually have it on tape, and it started to increase in altitude. So it started to go above all the trees that it was heading into. So I couldn't record it. So anyway, it was just an amazing capture. Very rainbowish. Very unlike anything we've ever seen. I think we became close enough in order to determine whether or not there's some sort of a theme, some sort of caricature on these, obviously a shiny foil or a metal type of structure. So it was just an amazing capture. It seemed to lose its color, and then it ended up gaining it back. So just a very, very strange, object. Trying to still figure it out. So this next one was a little bit on the strange too, because you could see that it's it looked to me like some sort of a foil balloon along with two latex balloons, but you could see that the foil balloon had a tether that was at least 3 to 4 inches thick. The foil balloons, shouldn't have something like that. It's just way too thick. The typical tether is about 3/16 of an inch thick. It's less than a 1/4 inch, and you could see that the attachment honestly it was too far for us to see. So this thing must have been at least 4 to 6 inches thick. But if you take a look at the foil, you could see it's some sort of half and half like black and half silver, and it was just a very strange object. Another strange one was this one. It had a very short. It was like a white oblong object which is usually a dead giveaway, but it had a very, very short tether, which was kind of strange. But we ended up noticing that with this object, the tether actually flashed at us. And it's something that's highly unusual. I'm telling you, we've been doing this for a long time. We've never really seen something like this, but it was almost like a Morse code type of thing. And it was almost like it was trying to communicate with us. But I'll tell you, when it flashed, it was almost like lightning. And it was just very strange. So this one kind of broke the rules to what we're typically seeing up in the sky. So definitely very strange. Another crazy thing that we ended up kind of seeing about this one is that, the close-up video that we ended up getting from this one had two tethers that were, looked like they were kind of equidistant from each other. And both of them were able to flash, but just kind of interesting the fact that they were not really coming from the same area on the object. But and you could see just kind of a strange cluster or almost like a rat's nest of tether at the very, very bottom. But they would end up shining and really attention getting. I think it was this next one. This one was taken like about a half hour later, and same type of situation. A very, very short tether that was flaring, which I think was just a very interesting type of thing. But it had this like little thing at the very bottom of it that would be almost like lightning. It was just incredible. The next one was this blue, perfectly round orb with a very short tether, and you think that, why would anybody be walking around with a very short tether? When they attach these things, they're almost impossible to get off. So why would something be floating around with a very, very short tether is beyond me. This last one is something we saw up in the sky. It almost looks like it's wearing a skirt. And it kind of reminds me of maybe like a cupcake type of balloon, but with the cupcake type of balloon, they have like a closing at the very bottom in order to, close in on the tether flap. You could see one over here, but it was just very strange because it wasn't closing; it was very open. So it was almost kind of like you could like take a look underneath. This one just didn't make any sense to me. But, it was definitely some sort of a mimic, something that just didn't make sense. Something you just can't buy from the store because it just looks very, very strange. I think most people would have thought that this was just a regular cupcake balloon, but you could see that it just did not have typical characteristics of a regular balloon. It was almost like square-shaped bottom, did not have characteristics of a typical foil balloon. So it would have faked out most people. I know it would have. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming and helping us out with this last event. I invite you again to our next event. Please join LA UFO channel on meetup.com. And, let's see these things together. We like to be there when you end up seeing your very first UFO. So, yes, please come and join us next time. See you next time. Bye-bye.